Hey guys, it's Greg again. Um, I've got Ray with me. That's one of the things that they always taught us, especially if you're doing covert, offensive, it doesn't matter. It's always the basics, and it's something I feel that needs to be done and understood. So it's going to help you. It's a safety mechanism.
100%. And whatever bit of advice we can get from one agency or another group of individuals or an individual collectively, if we have family members in law enforcement or military, and whatever piece of advice we can get, I call this my magical bag of tricks, because I'm going to get everything that has common sense, sounds good, is going to help me in my efforts to stay safe.
So okay, now we're in a vehicle, we're driving. Ray, give me your thoughts on what you see and what can help.
What I see is the same thing that I see from a individual walking from a building to their vehicle, or from their vehicle to a building. I see the same thing in drivers. We're narrow focused. Everything is focused to the front. There's no 360 about you. Uh, at least, and this is from my experience. Every time I come to a stoplight, only about 1 out of 10 people at a stoplight that are to my left or to my right are actually paying attention and scanning, and we lock eyes and look and give the greeting of the day. 90% of everybody else is just so focused on the cell phone, sending texts, focused up to the front. They're not worried about what's to their left or right,
No,
much
I agree.
less what's to your rear. And the one thing that again is a burr under my saddle is when I'm with family and friends, they love to pull up at a stoplight or a stop sign, bumper to bumper.
Yes.
And it just, I don't know, I guess because of my experience, it irks the crap out of me.
I'm glad you said that, because what I do and what I've always been taught slash trained was when you're pulling up behind a vehicle, when you're looking over your hood, you should be able to see the full back tire plus some ground. If you can locate that, then you
Absolutely.
have enough space to maneuver left or right if you need to. If you
Now you can see the distance I have here. If you see through my rear view mirror, I can barely see the driver. So we know they're way too close.
All these tips and discussions that we give is also about safety,
right,
because you know as well as I do, if I'm parked behind you, or I'm sitting behind you at a stoplight, and I'm bumper to bumper like other people drive, as soon as a knucklehead comes back behind me, is not paying attention, hits me, they're going to thrust
accordion
me
to
to you, and I'm responsible for you.
stoplight. What a lot of people fail to realize, I'm from out east, right? We get black ice just because that's
Oh,
where it rains, turns to
yep,
ice. It looks fine, but it's just solid ice. What happens at a stoplight, depending on your location, right? Especially if you have heavy trucks, your tractor trailers, and like that. When there's a stoplight, that's where your oil, that's where all your
yep,
lubricants out of there, it starts pulling up. So if you're stopping there, it becomes basically like black ice.
yep.
So you need to use caution when transiting through or stopping at or accelerating from a stoplight.
Absolutely. So there is no awareness. Again, we get caught in this complacency that I haven't had an accident, and again, I rarely use the word accident, because accident to me is not, it's not a legitimate word.
Right.
Accidents are called caused due to negligence by one party or both. We're not worried about anything else. And
Right.
when we do get into a traffic collision, it's the other person's fault.
Right.
It wasn't my fault.
I want to pick your brain on, say you're in a grocery store or you've been shopping and you're coming back to your vehicle. You do everything that we need, situational awareness, we get there. How are you loading up the items into your vehicle?
because of the vehicle that I use is an SUV. After I pull the basket up to the back of their SUV, I open up the tailgate or the back door. I load everything up. I close it. I put in the basket back of the retainer. I'm going to look around and I'm going to make sure that mainly there's nothing that's going to puncture my tires, and then some bonehead hasn't slammed their car door up against mine. And so that's where my 360 comes in.
Thing with me when I'm placing items in my vehicle, right? I don't, if I've got an SUV, what I do not do is face directly to my vehicle, right? Because it leaves open everything behind me. I'll knife or I'll blade off to the side and I'll put everything in versus
Right.
giving up
Absolutely.
my entire back. And that way it's easier while I'm putting things in, I'm still looking that way. If I'm looking straight at, then it's going in, I lose sight of everything around me.
Absolutely. Because again, some of these threats that are coming towards you may not be a direct threat.
Right.
They could just be a bonehead driving, a negligent driver speeding through a parking lot, and they don't see you. And then
Last pet peeve I have, again, this comes from years conducting surveillance, atmospherics. Be cognizant of what you place on your vehicle. And what I'm talking about is decals.
Oh, decals, yes.
Decals. I see so many people placing the little stick figurines all over the vehicle, telling their entire family,
yes,
how many kids they have, how many dogs they have, if their kids are sports. And again, that is another indicator. You're setting yourself up. If someone is watching, if you've got two kids reflecting sports, well, they have a good idea where they're going to be after school. So it's easier. Or if you're reflecting the man is military, how often is he going to be gone?
Yeah, military service member is always gone. So again, the prey, the criminals, are going to find the easiest way to identify their next mark, their next victim, the next target.
Agreed.
And that, I mean,
we're making it easy at that point.
Literally, it's this is who I am, and you put the name of the school. This is the neighborhood I come from.
Yes.
So I used to be, we called it loud and proud. I used to be loud and proud, and it had all kinds of stickers and Bubba this and all kinds of flags. And you come to a time in your age that you say, you know what, I'm not marking my vehicles for anything.
Right. Agreed.
Because again, in this time and error, all it takes is I'm a proud American. I'm a proud this. I have, I'm service this, service that. And you have a knucklehead that's on the left side of the aisle.
Agreed.
That bashes your vehicle because they don't like what you stand for. Identify your stickers. And I'm like, okay, that's who I want. That's my target. And lady, again, these points, there's another point to mention that, women with, whether you're a single mother or you're a single mother at the grocery store or shopping center and you have your baby, that's a target.
Yes.
Because where's our focus? Our focus is on our baby, not on our periphery or our surroundings.
It can't happen overnight. It's something that you slowly work yourself into.
You just identify what makes sense to you. You start practicing it mentally, verbally in your mind, mentally, emotionally. I'm going to practice it. I'm going to practice it. It makes sense. Let me make this a part of my toolkit, my repertoire, my bag of tricks. And again, it's not living in fear, it's living in confidence. That perpetrator that's going to look at you, even if they look at you for a split second, then they're going to identify this is a strong target. I don't want to mess with this strong target. It's in the vehicle. We need to apply it as if we were walking or as if we were driving. It's just awareness anytime you're out and about.
Well, guys, that's going to conclude part 3 with situational awareness around vehicles. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, go ahead and do me a favor and like, share, subscribe. Leave us comments below, and either myself or Ray will get to them. And at the end, again, Ray, I appreciate your assistance in this and your knowledge.
It was a pleasure, Greg. Pleasure.
So in the end, guys, all we can ask is for you to stay safe.
Stay.